Just chilling here with Zanny. Got my Zanny cat here, and I had a topic for a monologue I wanted to do, and it's it's one of the most common things I get asked in spaces, comments, when people want to try to I don't know, like checkmate me or like really prove that I don't have bad morals, whatever. That my my decision making is shit. They'll say so why don't you ever call out KMF? Like why don't you ever call out KMF, bro? You never call KMF out. And I get it from like Kimball, non-cred, even guys I like Jonathan seems to do it. Like it's just a given that for one, the King Milkfart is wicked. Like anyone who supports him or is associated with him that's not calling him out is bad, which I don't believe that. But it it's just a strange. I don't see anyone else getting like attached like that. Where one person is being used to discredit another in this way, other than me on UFO Twitter, and I get so sick of hearing that shit that I decided one way to handle some of this is to just make a video and talk about it and explain it all. That way, when I do get it, like someone saying that, well, why don't you ever call out KMF? I never heard you calling out KMF for the stuff he does. Uh, I can just point to this video, and this is why I never call out KMF, so I don't even have to explain. I can just post the video, and I like that. It's nice because then you can promote your video and tell someone, your side of the story, without even wasting any energy. So two birds, one stone. So, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell how I became friends with KMF from the beginning, and because that it's all part of the answer for why I don't call out KMF. And honestly, the truth is, that question in itself is completely flawed because how I met KMF and became buddies with him was by calling him out, which is funny. You'll hear as the story goes. So when I first joined UFO Twitter, my first friend circle was Red Panda Koala and these other guys, the Tupa crew that you know today. Heather, Benno, Logan. Those are the spaces I hung out in. UFO Shane. So immediately, I was getting barraged with the hate group stuff, and I came in right when Ray and Tupa were clashing in these spaces and the lines were being drawn, and I was brand new. Like I had no clue who was right in these situations, who was wrong, whatever, just brand new. I didn't know enough to make it to be to make decisions on these things because I'm not a flag magnet. I don't just come in and stick a flag and start declaring things. Like I wanted to figure it out, or at least stay out of it probably in the early days. Well, I'm immediately getting hit with Red Panda Koala's, his narrative control on the evil hate group. Re, um, they were trying to like repair Tupa's image because the he had just publicly apologized for all that racist insanity he was saying over on Discord or Reddit, whatever the fuck, I don't even care. Um, but that's what I entered UFO Twitter in. And I don't know if it's just my I don't know if I'm a little bit like they make fun of me, call me autistic, whatever. But I do seem to like struggle with social cues, and I don't I don't have a filter sometimes. Like I'm not one that's gonna dance around things, and it does seem to isolate me sometimes in social situations. And I'm the kind of guy that when Red Panda Koala was telling me this shit about these guys, instead of like piling on bullshit and in their spaces, I'm the kind of guy that would go ask. Like, I'll just go ask the guy. Like, I'm new here anyways. Like, no one's got me blocked or anything. I'll just go ask the person when I would hear these rumors and these allegations that were always coming from Chupacabra and Red Panda Koala at this time, because that's where I was hanging out with. And the first one where Panda sent me towards those guys was against like Carlos and UAP Mike. I found, and usually what it was is it's a rumor or allegation that I find interesting. That's why I go and ask, because it's like, what? That's kind of funky. I want to hear more about that. So the first one was against UAP Mike. Red Panda Koala pushed, wound me up and sent me towards UAP Mike and Dahlia. This was when UAP Mike was basically the most vile force in the hate group. The hate group follows UAP Mike. That's what people don't get. He's a one-man hate group. But anyways, I regress. They sent me towards Mike, and it was over these allegations about Dahlia getting a phone call from Lou or Lou's people, basically telling her to stop being racist because it's not what we do here. And I just thought it was funny and interesting, and I wanted to know a little bit more about it. So I just went to Mike and asked him. Well, of course, I got just shit talked, and he just sh- talked a bunch of shit back. And yeah, you got to remember, this was Mike was hate group here. He wasn't. He didn't switch and become a MAGA whistleblower for Panda yet. And so I didn't get any information about. I still don't know what the truth about that shit is. I don't really even care. But what happened eventually was I was finding out quickly, everyone on UFO Twitter had a real problem with being challenged in any way. Like, if someone does something and you disagree, or you think it's just fucking shady, or you whatever, if you confront them like a man and just come out and say it, like, dude, that was weird as fuck what you did. They seem to have a really hard time with it. And how I became acquaintances with KMF was at the time he was making these memes going against Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was on a campaign shitting on Tyson, and I uh I DM'd him and was like, dude, these are kind of these are kind of hurtful and fucking they were just kind of pretty vile. And so that's why I said it's funny that people say, why don't you ever call out KMF, when that's how I met KMF, was calling out KMF. But that's not their idea of calling someone out. Their idea of calling someone out is publicly, talking shit to them on Twitter, or like retweeting them and putting them on blast and trying to shame them. That's their idea of calling someone out. My idea of calling someone out is DMing them and asking them straight up, like, what's up with these? These are kind of these keep coming across my feed, and they're making me feel a certain way. And that's how I met KMF. I DM'd him, and he was the first fucking person on UFO Twitter, the very first person that I encountered. I'd been probably around, maybe going on a year. He was the very first person I encountered that was basically like, "Oh yeah, you got a problem with what I've been posting? Well, let's talk about it." And we debated about it. Well, which ones are you specifically bothered about? And I showed him, these ones I feel like they're pushing the line on this topic, and this one really bothered me because of this. And we debated it. And that's what it was supposed to be. That's what social media is, an intellectual debate, because that's all we have. It's just our voices. We can't fight each other here. It's supposed to just be an intellectual debate. And KMF was the first person that just engaged man to man in a debate, and we both walked away from it respecting each other more. I don't think he stopped making the fucking things, but I'm pretty sure he thought about it a little differently when he was making them, and eventually we became buddies. It wasn't anything nefarious, and that's all it really takes. Like, my bar for like who I'll be friends with on Twitter is someone who shows me respect, will talk to me like a man, and will be honest. Like, that's really all it takes. I don't have to agree with everything you do. I don't have to agree with your views. I don't have to agree with what you think about Lou Elizondo. None of that shit matters to me. That's why people don't understand me. It's why I'm buddies with and like Jonathan Seamus. The guy talks to me man to man, like with respect. If he's got a problem with something I say or he thinks I'm phony, he tells me. I can respect that, and we can talk about it. Uh, Everyone on UFO Twitter, dude, if you check them or you challenge them in any way, you're usually blocked out from their circle. It's never kept just man to man. Besides, my friends, because that's why we're friends. Is because we ended up migrating together because it's people who can put a disagreement aside, and we both know that the friendship isn't at risk. We can argue over some disagree, and it's gonna be okay. We're still gonna be friends at the end of it. You don't see that anywhere else. You just don't. And so the Neil deGrasse Tyson thing, I called him out on that, and it's not how non-cred wants me to call him out, or Panda wants me to call him out, but I'm not here to do what you assholes want. That's how I call someone out that I'm cool with. I DM them first. Now, if and that's not even the first example. There was another example where I challenged KMF on something, and it was the Dahlia memes. Uh, I don't know if KMF was making those memes. Memes aren't really my thing. I don't engage. I don't make them. I don't understand a lot of them. Uh, but the memes were coming out about Dahlia, and I remember the first one I saw was the one with the cheeseburger. And it was like Dahlia just like sitting there and looking at, and there was like this big glorious cheeseburger like oversized on a table. And I thought that shit was funny. It's corny. It's a cheeseburger. Like, who gives a like there's no hurt. There's no cruelty in it. It's just a fucking cheeseburger. Um but then I saw that they started to lower into the mud. And dude, I was making it very clear that I did not agree with those memes. Like, I didn't do it the way you people wanted me to. Like, I didn't retweet them and say we all need to band together and cancel this guy. Cause and this is another point. you the same people that think KMF should get canceled for a hurtful meme from 2-3 years ago. I'm watching week by week, overlooking things like Big Homie threatening to off people, uh, PDF rampant, the stuff with Larry, or the guy that was saying the aliens were causing him to get aroused. Like, these people are overlooking all of this shit, like really despicable, gross shit that does need to be confronted, and they're worried about one hurtful meme between you know what basically spiraled into a vendetta on Twitter between two people. The bullshit was going back and forth. If y'all don't think it was, you're blind. I mean, that's why I don't call KMF out for that shit. It's because if I put them all in line with everything I see with people on UFO Twitter who need called out, he'd be at the bottom of the pile. Like, what about Ashton and all the insane shit that guy was saying when with the doctor whoever he was feuding with? None of y'all had anything to say about any of that. Those were threats, like active threats of harm and doxing, and I'm gonna come after your family. I'm gonna make you wanna commit self-harm, and none of y'all say nothing. You hang out with him in spaces. That's why I don't call KMF out when he makes a bad joke every once in a while. And I get a lot of the the shit about the archive, the KMF archive. I don't find any of that shit credible. I just don't. It it's clipped together nonsense. As far as this idea that like it's already solved and proven that KMF is a bad guy, don't bring that shit to me because I don't subscribe to it. KMF's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. Y'all just don't fucking know him, and you believe that bullshit image that was created by this Tupa Crew cyber cult. Y'all wanted a monster, you got a monster. That's why I don't call KMF out.